follow. Another one said, I will follow, but first he said, I have to say goodbye. They wanted to follow, but they weren't in a place that they were free to follow. Isn't that where we can feel that? We want to follow. Don't you want to follow? It sounds so good. Second word of the gospel. But we're just not in a place that we're really free to follow. We're hindered. Nehemiah had to move out of his comfort zone. So he came, he prayed for God to give him favor with the king, and it came about in the month of Nisan, 4 months later, in the 12th year of King Artaxerxes, that wine was before him. Nehemiah says, I took up the wine and I gave it to the king. Now I've not been sad in his presence. So the king said to me, why is your face sad, though you were not sick? This is nothing but sadness of heart. Then I was very much afraid. See, they could die, cupbearers could die if they were sad in front of the king. That's kind of scary, isn't it, y'all? Sad, negative, all of those things. If we walked around with, like Eeyore and the gloom and doom in front of the king, we could die. And I said to the king, let the king live forever. Why should my face not be sad when the city, the place of my father's tombs, lies desolate, and its gates have been consumed by fire? Then the king said to me, what would you request? So I prayed to the God of heaven, a quick little arrow prayer, and I said to the king, if it please the king, and if your servant has found favor before you, send me to Judah, to the city of my father's tombs, that I may rebuild it. Then the king said to me, the queen sitting beside him, how long will your journey be, and when will you return? So it pleased the king to send me, and I gave him a definite time. And I said to the king, if it please the king, let letters be given to me for the governors of the provinces beyond the river, and may they allow me to pass through until I come to Judah. And a letter to Asa, the keeper of the king's forest, that he may give me timber to make beams for the gates and the fortresses which by the temple for the wall of the city, and for the house to which I will go. And the king granted them to me, because the good hand of God was on me. He moved out of his comfort zone to the point that he risked death. He let his emotions be seen by the king. And sometimes our emotions, we don't want anybody to see them, and we walk them up. And sometimes it's the very emotions that we let be seen that grant us the very desire of our heart. When my mom died 30 years, I guess 30 years ago, if that's not right, I think it's 30 years ago. When my mom died, the desire of my heart was that my whole family would be in the house with me. I was the baby, and I was taking care of her, and I was 29. So it wasn't 30 years ago, it was only 25 years ago. I can do the math now. And I'd held it together until the weekend that I knew that she was going to die. I had held it, I had taken care of her. My sister had said, I'm not coming home again. I've been home. I'm done. She was tired of driving back and forth from Atlanta. My brother lived in Washington State. He was the oldest. He said, he's too far away to come. My other brother was an alcoholic. Is suicidal at the time. And so my brother had said to me, my oldest brother, he had said, if you need me, call me, and I will come. Well, I wanted to be the big girl. I didn't want to need him. But I had to break down. The really ugly, sobbing, hysterical, you need to come home, mom's going to die this weekend sort of fit. My emotions, the sadness in my heart, the tears streaming down my face. My brother said I'll be there on the first plane. And because the big brother was coming home, everybody else came home too. And God used my emotion that I feel guilty over. Why was I going to lose it? Why couldn't I handle this by myself? Why did I have to fall apart? Because I probably wasn't very nice. And that's what happened with Nehemiah. It was just time for the agony to be seen. And God used the emotion to grant him favor and to help him move out of his comfort zone. To leave all the incredible benefits. Oh, that's what's so hard about America, is the incredible benefits. And he was willing to give up the incredible benefits to leave and enter into risk. That's exactly what he did. When you and I move out of our comfort zone, we're going to enter into risk. It's just a fact. And I notice some of y'all, risk is a dirty word. You know, you're looking at this El Capitan thing going, that guy is just like tempting God. And this is too big a risk. But whenever you and I have to move out of our comfort zone, there's a risk. And Nehemiah entered the risk when he went into the king's presence sad. And when the king spoke to him, he answered honestly. When you and I get into a place of risk, we just have to be honest and humble. Because he answered him honestly, and then he asked humbly, can I go to Jerusalem? He asked permission. And see, I just want to go before God, and I've prayed this prayer over and over recently. God, I'm just coming. You're the king. And I need to ask permission. Can we do this? Can we really get a transitional house, God? Can we really have a do-over decor store that is going to be up and running and not just a logo on a banner? Can we really do this? And we need your protection and we need your provision, by the way, because you know you gave it to Nehemiah. You gave the provision to him, timber from the forest, and you gave permission for him to do it, and you gave protection to him. So we need all of those things too, but it's risky. It's risky because, you know, when you ask, you can always get told no. And then we have to expect resistance. And if you read verse 10, as soon as we move out of our comfort zone, and this is, if I could just teach us one major lesson. When you step out of your comfort zone, the instant you move out of comfort, you are going to face resistance. Something is going to happen. You are going to wreck your car. Or somebody is going to come and mock you and criticize you and tell you how stupid you are for leaving the king's palace. You've all heard it. Why do you serve with you for him? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Why do you go into the prison? Those girls deserve to be in the prison. Why would you give up your time for that? We've all heard it. Resistance. What do you do when there's resistance to your plan? What are you afraid of when others criticize your plan? And I really should be asking this to me. What am I afraid of when others criticize my plan? What am I afraid of when there's resistance? And do I really have to have people's approval? Or just God's approval? Do I really have to have anybody else's? And then Nehemiah moved right into commitment. He moved out of the comfort zone. He's willing to lay down all the benefits. And he's willing to go and do exactly what was breaking his heart to do. Commitment means the act of engaging oneself. Involvement, responsibility. But I want you to think about, I'm sure you've probably all heard this, the pig or the chicken. Do you want to be a pig or a chicken? And see, most of us want to be a chicken. Because a chicken lays eggs. And they just give up an egg. They're involved. A pig, total commitment. Total commitment. They are willing to do whatever, you know, they're laying their life down. And I don't want to live the rest of my life just making a contribution. I want to be willing to be a pig and lay down my life and do the hard things. So Nehemiah leaves. Look at verse 11. He goes to Jerusalem. He's there 3 days. He gets up in the middle of the night. Well, right there, I'm sunk. I arose in the night. He's going in secret. I and a few men with me, I didn't tell anyone what my God was putting into my mind to do for Jerusalem. And there was no animal with me except the animal on which I was riding. So I went out by night to the valley gate in the direction of the dragon's well and onto the refuse gate, inspecting the walls of Jerusalem, which were broken down, and the gates, which were consumed by fire. Then I passed on to the fountain gate and the king's pool, but there was no place for my mount to pass. So I went up at night by the ravine and inspected the wall, got off his horse and climbed up the ravine. Then I entered the valley gate again and returned. And the officials did not know where I'd gone or what I'd done, nor had I told the Jews, the priests, or the nobles, or the officials, or the rest who did the work. So he went and began to research the problem with discretion, with discernment, and with diligence, carefully, thoughtfully, speedily. He needed a plan because he's not going to be able to do it by himself. And then he moves into where he has to rally the people. In verse 17, I said to them, He gathered the people together. You see the bad situation we're in. Jerusalem's desolate. Its gates are burned with fire. Come, let us rebuild the wall of Jerusalem, that we would no longer be a reproach. And I told them how the hand of God had been favorable to me, how the king's words which he had spoken to me. Then they said, let us arise and build, and they put their hands to the good work. He rallied the people and inspired them with vision and inspired them with victory of what God had done and what God could do. What God had done and what God could do. God is on the move. God is doing something. He's doing something in Do For Him Ministries. I love being around Sally's husband, who's chairman of our board, because every time I'm in his presence, he says, got a front row seat. Got a front row seat, watching God, what he's doing. And some days that he says that to me, I just want to deck him and say, reveal the front row seat, because I'm drowning here. And then, I think about it and I go, it's exactly right. I start to give my, little executive director's report at the board meeting and tell them, I got to kind of update them on what's going on for the month, and I start talking and talking and talking and talking, not because I want to hear myself talk, but because God is doing so many things. And then he says, see, I told you we have a front row seat. And sometimes you're in the midst of it and you don't even see what God is doing. You don't even see that God is giving you this plan, and he's giving you people to do the plan with you. And Nehemiah did not go out and search the land for the team. He took the people that he had right in front of him and said, come on guys, let's arise and build, and let's do this thing. And then he repelled the pest. And all I can say is eagles don't hawk at flies, y'all. Eagles don't hawk at flies. And here's Nehemiah, the eagle soaring in the sky. And here's a few little negative naysayers. Wasn't Sherry. Sanballat the Hornite, and Tobiah the Ammonite, and the Arabs heard it, and they mocked us, they despised us. What is this thing you're doing? Are you rebelling against the king? Don't you just love how people take things out of context? Are you rebelling against the king? So I answered him and said, the God of heaven will give us success. Therefore, we, his servants, will arise and build, but you have no portion, right, or memorial in Jerusalem. He doesn't bow down to their negativity, to their mockery. He just doesn't even turn his head at them. Oh, I wish I could be like that. Because sometimes I just turn my head and I hawk at flies, y'all. And I don't know what to do with the confrontation, and then I don't reveal the confidence that I have that God will give us success. As we conclude tonight, I want to ask you, what's breaking your heart? And what are you weeping over? What are you fasting over? Have you given into complacency, confusion, tiredness, busyness? Are you unwilling to fast because giving up food is too hard, so you're not really going to get free? What's keeping you from following God? Are you ready to move out of the comfort zone into the commitment zone? Jesus was all in. As we study John 17 tomorrow, Jesus was just all in, and his heart was broken, because tomorrow he prays for you and I. He prays for you and I right now too, because he's the intercessor. But John 17, that prayer, he's just praying. He's broken over our brokenness. Amen. And he's praying for us. He recognized our burden and our sin, and he responded to the pain of our brokenness. He was led from agony into action, and he laid down all of his benefits in heaven. All of his power, all of his glory robes, all of being the firstborn, to come in and put himself in the most dangerous place in the world for you and I, the cross. And he prayed for us. Are we going to be an answer to his prayer? What do we want to say to him when he comes again and looks us face to face? Are we going to be caught in that cobweb of sin and comfort and American culture and coping behaviors, settling, or are we going to be ready to move out? And see, Nehemiah did not settle. He moved. And I just want to share with you a little piece of this letter that I got from a lady in the prison that I don't even know, y'all. I got this past week. Her name is Crystal. She's not in our Bible study class. One of the ladies in our class came to me and said, my friend is leaving the prison in 3 months. She has no family. She has nowhere to go. And she's really trying to make a change. What? Crystal? This Crystal? Okay. And I just want to say, Nehemiah did not go out and recruit a team. He took the team that was in front of him. And y'all are the team that's in front of him. And there is brokenness beyond repair that is within our reach. It is within our reach to have a transitional house. It is within our reach. I don't know where the timber or the money or any of that's going to come from. But I know that the 2% of y'all that are the remnant that are sitting in this room can make this vision happen. And I didn't dream this vision up because what idiot would dream this vision up? I mean, honestly, that's what Aaron Walker told me at Hempstead Baptist Church. He said, Jane, you want to know why I support your ministry? Because nobody would dream up this vision. He said, I've known you for 20 years, and the Jane Wolfe of 20 years ago would not be doing this. So this has to be the God thing. This isn't a Jane thing. This is a God thing. And I want you to hear the brokenness and the need. And I might reach a whole letter. My name is Crystal. I'm located in C-Dorm at NCCIW in Raleigh. My release date is June 17th. My case manager is Ms. Cobb, and I have had no infractions during my 3 years of incarceration. There's a miracle right there. I have 0 points, and I'm assigned as a janitor. I'm in minimum custody, and I've taken 5 classes. I'm working very hard to better myself and change my life. I have no family here, no support, no home, no clothes, no personal belongings, no place to go upon my release. I do, however, have God, faith, hope, and a very good friend named Deborah Gleason, who is a source of encouragement and love. She is a member of the Flourish program you were in and spoke to you about my situation briefly. She said, you may be able to help find me a program to go where I can work on me, on my addiction, on my mental health issues, and ultimately change my life. I was arrested in 2016 for distribution and possession of methamphetamine. I was given 2 sentences of 16 to 20 months each, and I'm only 3 months away from my release. I am a methamphetamine addict of over 15 years. I've done well here in prison, and I've remained clean from meth. But I've used Suboxone several times. I love her honesty. I have 4 children. My first 2 were taken from me by DHS. My rights were terminated due to my drug addiction. They were adopted out to 2 different foster homes, and I was allowed no information to contact them. I have no idea of if their names were changed, where they reside, or what they look like. This was in 2004. The oldest is 20. The other is 16. I also have 2 other children, another boy and girl who are 10 months apart in age. My daughter was taken from me, from my custody by her father's brother and adopted in a 2-year-long custody battle, and my son remains with his dad. I've had no contact with either of them for several years due to my residing in North Carolina and my incarceration. My family, my children, my friends are all from Iowa, so I have no real support here. I've lost my home, my family, my children, and sadly myself because of my addiction. I know if I don't change my life and my soul will be lost. The devil has taken everyone and everything from me I love and hold dear, which gave me no one to turn to except God. I have since found my faith, and with God's help, am fighting to regain my life. I am in desperate need of a program to attend that can help me succeed. I know it's going to be an uphill battle, but I'm ready to do what it takes to be the woman God intended me to be. I only have the clothes on my back when I leave here, and no resources at all. I'm a 7-day Adventist Christian, and I'm hoping to find a faith-based program that can help me with a place to live, a job, help with my substance abuse and mental health issues, and hopefully getting my teeth fixed and schooling. I have 9 months of post-release to do, but I need a long-term program. I know there's one I know there is one I've heard of here in Raleigh called Healing Transitions that sounds amazing, but I do not have the help to apply to it or anywhere else. My case manager is supposed to help me, but can't seem to find the time to help me. I'm terrified of being put in an Oxford house or a shelter where I know I will not succeed because I can't receive help getting into a program that could really help me. I need structure and a lot of help to get back on track, and I'm willing to put in the work required to change my life. I just need help getting there. I'm tired of living my life of sin. I just want to be happy again. With God by my side, I know I can do this. I'm ready, I'm willing, and I'm able. I hope this was enough information for you to get to know me. Enclosed is my visitation form for you to fill out so you can come and visit me. I want to see if you will be able to help. I will be awaiting your visit and any letters you send. If you need any more info, you can write me and I'll be more than happy to answer you. Thank you so much for your time that you took in reading this. I know how valuable one's time truly is. God bless you and keep you in His grace. Sincerely, Crystal. Brokenness right in front of us. I can touch it, but I can't do anything about it because we don't have a home that we can put her in. We've got mentors. We've got these amazing people that could love on her, that could walk her through a change book and the Genesis process. We probably could find her a job because we could get her through Jobs for Life. But y'all, we gotta get a place for people to live. We've got to get a place that for 18 months they can live in that house and they can cycle through our program and you and I can get our hands on them. And they can see our love and they can feel our love. Not our love, but Christ's love through us. And it will make a difference. And I've gotten lots of letters from lots of inmates over the course of the 12 years we've been there. I've never gotten a letter like this.
She was not on the list to come to the retreat.
She's not in our class. How'd she get to?
She came to my class the month before.
And they let her in the retreat.
She was not on the list.
Oh my
But
God.
she was determined.
We got another letter from her today. Did you read it? It said the exact same thing. She said, I wrote you last week and I haven't heard back from you, so I want to write again.
Oh, no.
She wrote a retreat week, and I'm filling out the application, and I'm going to go see her because she's not in our class, which frees me to be able to be on her visitation list.
She's on my list.
So I'm just, well, has she been to class since? Okay, well, I'm not.
She had a court date last time. She could not come.
Okay, that's good. Why I'm telling y'all this is because you're the builders. You're the repairers of the breach. You're the ones that God's handpicked. Sorry about that. You can run. I mean, you can run, you can hide, but you know the beauty of that is I didn't choose you, God did. And He's going to be tapping on you, and I don't know what to tell you, but I need your prayer support. I need you to pray every day that God would grant us the permission and He's given us the permission. When I did chapter 1 and I was during the fast when I was praying through this and working through this, and I was begging God to show me with clarity because I was buying into the mockers. And my own worst enemy, which is me, whispering in my ear saying, who do you think you are, you idiot? You can't, who are you going to ask for $50,000 for a transition house? You don't have, where are you going to get that money in? Your faith's not big enough, and buying into that, and that's just a bunch of hooey. We've got people who need us, and we've got people that have homes that can hand us the keys if they want to. I don't know what God's plan is, but I'm asking you as my team to arise and build, to get out of comfort zone and get into commitment, and to be a pig and not a chicken, and to just say, we're going to do this thing, and help me do this thing. And I have to do this thing, so, I'm not asking you to climb El Capitan, although it might feel like that. To me, it feels like that. It feels like that. But I want the view. I'm just telling y'all, I want the view of God, because we got a front row seat. and we get to show up and watch Crystal's life be changed. And I have 2 or 3 other girls right now that are talking to me in the prison. We could fill that house. If we had a 4-bedroom house, we could fill it in a month. A month. And have women that we could change their lives. So, pray with me. Lord God, I just lift up Crystal right now to you. I can't imagine the fear that she has, not knowing where she will go and what she will do. And knowing that what lays outside of those prison doors is meth. And desperation and stress and hunger and cold. And Lord, you've given us the vision. I see the brokenness, Lord, and it's a reproach to you that your sisters, your children, our sisters, are hurting and struggling, that drugs are as bad in the prison as they are outside the prison. So Lord, I'm just asking, in unity with all of these women sitting in this room, I'm asking you, Lord, for the timbers to build a house. I'm asking you for permission from the town, from whoever, wherever we have to. I'm asking you for the power players, Lord, that are the kings of our city, to grant us all that we need. Lord, I'm asking for your protection, because the enemy is seeking whom he might devour. And Lord, in the prison, we've seen that day in and day out. So we're asking that you would encamp angels around us, that you would make us deaf to the mockers, that to the voices in our head that are holding us back, because Lord, sometimes that inadequacy, that lack, the limitations, those fears are the very things that are handcuffing and shackling us. So Lord, I'm asking you to break us free from anything and everything that hinders us, that we would be free to follow you. And Lord, as we follow you, like Matthew and Peter and John followed you, you changed them. You changed them into men who people wanted to follow. They went from being outcasts to being leaders. And Lord, I want to be free to follow you where you change me. And then other people will feel safe as we open the doors of eternity and lead them to you. Lord, the greatest thing that changes things is somebody's story of change. So I pray, Lord, that you would help us create stories of change in the lives of everyone that's in Jobs for Life right now, in the lives of those 40 women that sit in our prison circles, in the lives of the change group women, in the lives of those that will be in the change groups, in the lives of those who came out of Jobs for Life last semester. Lord, give them stories of change that are so outlandish that people will turn their head and look, that they will listen. Lord, I lift up Morgan right now. Lord, she's struggling. She's lonely. She doesn't want to give in to you. She's confused. She's thirsty for another high. I pray right now that you would envelope her in your grace, that you would draw her to yourself, that you would hold her tight, that you would not let her go back down that road of heroin. Lord, I pray for us. We're it. We're your remnant. We need you. We want you. I want the view from the top of the mountain, but Lord, I'm scared to death to climb. So Lord, give us focus. Focus on seeing your face in that last day. Focus on you saying, well done, good and faithful servant. Focus, Lord, on the reward of all eternity, spending it with you, so that step by step, foothold by foothold, reach by reach, we can draw near to you. and accomplish the tasks that you've given us. Lord, give us fortitude when we're so tired that we're negotiating with our body, that we can't go another step or do another thing, when we're so confused we don't know what's coming, when we're, Lord, wanting to bury our head in the sand. Lord, just help us. And help us have the fortitude that we need to keep going. Oh God, grant us fitness, grant us fortitude, grant us focus, and grant us courage in the midst of great fear. But most of all, God, grant us faith. That gift of faith. Would you build our faith, strengthen our faith? Lord, not a little faith, a great faith in a little God, but a great faith. A little faith in a great God. You're a great God, Lord. You're waiting for us. Help us arise and repair the brokenness. We give you all the glory. Help us go home safely tonight. Help us come back tomorrow and rejoice in the fact that you are God, that you are amazing. Worthy is the Lamb to be praised. We pray in Jesus' most precious holy name. Lord, you are the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. You are the one who did the most dangerous, risky. You faced the resistance.